It is said that where there is love, there is life. In relationship, this question which is usually asked is, what would you do for love? But what if the partner's response of that question turned as betrayal, with the hauntings in the hut? This is a story of a man charged with killing a woman, moving into her house and impersonating her on social media. The man who ordered a kill kit online used it to give her the special treatment before murdering her. What's the suspense? What was the motive behind killing a disabled woman? And how did the accused use the victim's messages to mislead the police? Let's find out. Jamie Fedden, a young woman who was born with physical and intellectual disabilities, lived in United States. Jamie Fedden's journey was challenging as she felt unloved by those around her. But when one man entered her life, everything changed. She fell deeply loved with the 39-year-old John Matthew Chapman, whom Fedden met at school for students with special needs, and Chapman frequently visited Jamie's home in Bethel Park, south of Pittsburgh. But did Matthew feel the same about Jamie? It turns out that John Matthew Chapman was leading a double life. While he was in a relationship with Jamie, he was also married to a woman named Maureen. What happened next was horrifying. But after discovering John's marital status, Fedden accepted his dark truth as they were planning to live together in Las Vegas as promised by Fedden's boyfriend Chapman. But Chapman took Jamie to a desert in Nevada, claiming they were going to buy a home in Las Vegas. But instead he drove her to the desert under the pretense of a bondage photo shoot. Chapman used a kill kit to zip tie Jamie's hand and feet to a signpost, covered her nose and mouth with duct tape. Then he watched Fedden slowly suffocated to death. Why? Why would he consider killing his girlfriend despite loving her? Is he a serial killer? Or did he simply wanted to exploit his girlfriend's money who is physically disabled? Now, after killing the 33-year-old Jamie Fedden on October 5, 2019, Chapman removed the duct tape, zip ties and Jamie's clothes and left her body in the desert and drove back to Pennsylvania. Now, after disappearing for several days with no leads, in November 2019, a friend of Jamie requested a welfare check as she wanted to meet her friend and was unable to find Jamie alone. From where the investigation began, when neighbors reported seeing a man, presumably her boyfriend, coming in and out of her home. And later the police found Chapman's ID, Jamie's phone and multiple rolls of duct tapes and zip ties, which defined a proper murder plan. Prosecutors said Fedden was born with Wetter syndrome, a group of birth defects that develop during pregnancy and can cause physical and intellectual disabilities. She and Chapman dated off and on for about a decade despite Chapman's being married, according to court documents. Now, after murder, Chapman had returned to Pennsylvania and used Jamie's money and residence while pretending to be her through her Facebook Messenger account. In the days and weeks leading up to the 2019 Nevada trip, prosecutors said a search of Chapman's computer revealed search inquiries, including what is the perfect place to dump bodies? Yes, and how can I successfully dump a dead body without being caught? Did Jamie ever get justice? Later, after months in 2019, John Matthew Chapman was convicted of kidnapping resulting in death. On August 2, 2024, he was life sentenced. As the U.S. Attorney for the District of Nevada, Jason Frierson stated a life sentence was the only fitting penalty for Chapman. This case should serve as a clear message that kidnapping and killing another person will result in a substantial prison sentence, he stated.